I'm Robert Bates. I am a Qigong teacher in Bellingham, Washington. I'm also a chiropractor where I practice craniosacral therapy, a very gentle touch healing method. I came to Qigong originally myself because I was tired. I had drained myself from going to college, from exercising, from practicing martial arts, and from worrying about my future in general. So I started learning Qigong just like I'm going to teach you in this DVD, step by step, learning basic exercises and basic principles first. Since I've been practicing Qigong since 1994, I've found that every year I have more energy than I did the year before, so I think that's a pretty good indication that it's working. I've also taught it to many people and learned a lot from those experiences and seen how it helps them, and it's helped me refine my approach so that I can teach you a type of Qigong where you can learn it quickly, pick up the principles, and use it in your life to have more energy, more health, more joy, and more fun. Now I know that this art, Qigong, has this very strange name to Western ears and a strange way to spell it. And many different ways to spell it. And I've heard it called Qigong and Shigong and Qigong and other things like that. The way we usually say it is just Qigong. And even though it has this kind of odd, unusual name, I think it's really grounded in what the body is and how it works. A lot of teachers, I've noticed, like to make it seem more mysterious and inaccessible and esoteric and orientally hard to grasp. But I don't think that it is. I've learned from my experiences and from my studies and my teaching and what people have told me that Qigong can be something that anybody can learn and make sense of and make a great step forward in their health. Now, I've had fun with Qigong, and I hope you do too. Okay, so what is Qi? What does this word Qi mean? I think that Qi can be thought of in many different ways, but to simplify and to really explain a lot of what it is, Qi is simply the energy for feeling good and living healthfully. I'll talk a little bit more about what Qi is later in the DVD and some other aspects about it. But for now, just understand that it's the energy for living a good life and living a healthy life. So what is Qigong? Qigong, very simply, is a regular practice where you practice working with Qi, where you build your skill with Qi. It's a practice that is much like the Chinese art of Tai Chi, which is, however, far more complicated to begin to learn than Qigong. I also practice Tai Chi, and I recommend it for anybody interested in it. But for most people in our culture of the West, we want to just start something that's not so complicated and start learning right away and getting the benefits right away. Qigong also can be thought of as a whole body, gentle, relaxing movement where we integrate our breath with our movement and with our quiet thoughts. Many of you probably have heard of Tai Chi, the Chinese movement art that's so beautiful. Well, Tai Chi is just a complex form of Qigong. And today we'll work on learning the essence of Qigong through this form, the principles, the energy, the basic ideas of the Five Flows, which will help you if you want to learn other Qigong, including Tai Chi. Some of the things that Qigong is not includes it's not isometrics, it's not stretching, it's not Western cardiovascular type exercise, but what it is relaxed, conscious, whole body movement. There are many reasons to practice Qigong. Some of the reasons include Qigong is a very gentle way to heal your body, to soothe old hurts and to rebuild places that might have been broken, places that might have been weak from long misuse. Another reason to practice Qigong is it gives you energy. It actually makes you more energized to do things and to think. It clears your mind. Qigong will help your longevity. Many long-time practitioners of Qigong live long, happy, healthy lives. Qigong can also save you a lot of money, which is a very good reason, because since you're more healthy, you need to go to the doctor less, you need fewer trips to the hospital perhaps as your life goes on. You're more solid in your body, so you'll tend to have fewer accidents as well. Fewer times that you might slip and tear or break or sprain something. These are just a few of the reasons to do Qigong. There are many more, and we'll talk about a few more of them as we go. This set, the Five Flows set, has 5 parts and 12 exercises. The 5 parts are the outline organization that we have, and each of those 5 parts contains 2 or 3 exercises. So the first section is called warming up. The second section, the second part, is cleansing. Third part, charging. The fourth part is balancing, and the fifth part is centering. So I'll teach you what each of those mean. We'll talk a little bit about it more in the DVD. And know that the Five Flows Qigong set is useful for just about anybody. It's accessible, it's simple, it's easy. So anybody can learn it and use it and strengthen their energy, strengthen their focus in life, learn how to relax more, balance their breath. But that also includes people who are high-level athletes. They can learn more about their breath and relaxing from the inside out so that they're always expressing energy. This also can help them learn how to conserve and nurture energy, and we need both of those in our lives. Later in this DVD, I will have the complete set done from number 1 through number 12, and in fact I'll have 2 versions of that. So first, I'm going to teach each exercise one by one, where I'll teach a basic Qigong principle, a basic gain of the exercise, and then show you how to do the exercise. Later, you can go further in the DVD and do either the 12-minute version or the 24-minute version, and you can just follow along and do that. Some basic things to know for the practice is you want to practice in a quiet place. Practicing by a busy street is not as good as practicing in a quiet yard, for instance. It's usually best to practice early in the morning, or whenever you can get to it is also okay. And there are 3 important principles, what I call the first 3 principles of Qigong. The first is practice every day. The second principle is never force anything. And the third principle is refine as you go. Let me just show you what I mean by the second principle of never force. Never force means if you do an exercise and your shoulders hurt when you do this, don't do this. Instead, maybe do a little less. So never do something just because I do it. Find a way to do it where it feels good to you. Then your body can relax and you can gain the healing benefits of Qigong. One last thing before we get into teaching the exercises. Every exercise in the set is done with the following basic posture. The feet are shoulder width, not less than shoulder width, not more than shoulder width, but about shoulder width. The knees are slightly bent. I'm not locking my knees. The toes are pointing forward. I don't want the toes out. Well, some people do that. Few people do this. And lastly, the center of the shoulder is lined up over the center of the hip. So we don't want to be leaning back, we're leaning forward. We want to be right even like this. A couple more things. Always be breathing during the set, and I'll remind you more. And relax your body as much as possible. And with that, we can get to teaching the set. Now we're ready to begin learning the first movement of the Five Flows Qigong set. But first I would like to introduce my two assistants today, who so kindly came here. The first one is Sylvia Saletti, who is a student of mine. And over here is Bob Shapiro, one of my colleagues who teaches Tai Chi in Bow, Washington. And they've been practicing this form, and so they are very good with Qigong already, and will be great assistants. The first flow is warming up, and the first flow is all about transitioning from whatever you were doing, whether it's waking up or thinking about your day or having a telephone call, transitioning from your regular day into a Qigong practice. So with you warming up, I have the analogy of like a mountain lake that's been frozen, and the mountain lake is starting to break up as it gets warmer and warmer and warmer. So you go from frozen to smooth. The first exercise is shaking the body. Shaking the body is relatively easy to learn and do, and it's seen in lots of different places. The main principle that we're going to work with shaking the body is to get out of our head and more into feeling and being. Feeling our body and being with our body. The main purpose of shaking is to release tension throughout the body. So it's really quite simple. You just shake up and down like this. You just relax and shake. You breathe. Relax your shoulders. Let your tension melt down. Relax your back, relax any place tense. And you almost want to feel like the ground is shaking you rather than you're shaking you. So you do that for 1 to 2 minutes or even longer if you like. So Sylvia and Bob, why don't you join me? Begin shaking and releasing tension, releasing thoughts that are stray, and remember to breathe. If you feel any tension anywhere in your body, just let that go, let that down. And try to have it be so your body is shaking you. You really feel loosening in the sacrum there. Sylvia, Bob, like it just lets go. Neck lets go. That looks really good. So let's just keep shaking for another little bit here. Just letting go and having fun, being shook. I find sometimes if people don't remember what Qigong to do, they can remember just to shake. It'll leave you feeling tingling and happy. And then to finish shaking, you just go slower and slower and slower and slower and slower. Take a deep breath. And good. The next exercise, number 2, is also a warm-up. And with all of these warm-ups, and also with the cleansing exercise, you can breathe in and out the nose, or also you can breathe in the nose and out the mouth. That can help release tension. This next exercise is turning the waist. Turning the waist will help relax your back. Very important. But it will also teach this key principle in Qigong and Tai Chi of using your waist to turn, not your hips. So what that means is when I turn with my upper body on a pelvic base. So my pelvis isn't moving, maybe just moving a little bit. I'm not turning and pushing my pelvis forward when I turn. I'm turning from the waist. And so that is very important, and it will make a lot of difference when you learn that. So the exercise looks like this. I just move my waist and let my relaxed arms flap on my hips. I try to keep my knees forward and my hip bones forward. Really relax the shoulders. Breathe as much as I need to, maybe more. Maybe even push into the ground just a little bit so that my legs don't turn. Okay, so Sylvia and Bob, if you could turn your waist and really try to keep that hip from moving forward when you turn. So just lock it almost. Have all the energy in the hips. In the lower back and in the waist. Looks good. This was really good for the lumbar spine, the lower back. It can really help heal the lower back. And it's great for massaging the internal organs. An internal massage which helps your digestion and all functions of the internal organs in the abdomen. So breathe just a little more as you're turning. That looks great. Have fun with it. Doesn't it feel good? Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks good. See how relaxed their shoulders are getting? Their breath is opening up. Nice warm up. And then you stop, you finish the same way you started. You just go slower, 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 come to center. Rest on your 2 feet. Good. The next exercise is waking the breath. You'll do this exercise for 6 to 12 repetitions. Waking the breath has the major purpose of deepening your breath and the major Qigong principle of coordinating breath and movement. So when I say coordinating, I mean you inhale all in one portion of the movement and exhale all of one portion of the movement. This is a really important thing to do and feels pretty good. You don't want to be walking or talking or doing anything with your breath doing one thing and your body doing something else. So we learn how to do that with this exercise. The other thing about the benefits of waking the breath is it helps remind you to breathe more. And you always want to be breathing fully and completely every minute of your life. So always be breathing. So it looks like this. Inhale. Exhale. Try to breathe with your whole body. And stay relaxed. Waking your lungs. Opening your rib cage. Okay, everybody. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, continue. Oh yeah, it looks good. You can breathe out your nose or out your mouth. A little deeper breath, Sylvia. Good. Let tension go in the exhale. Very nice. Coming up to finish. And letting go. The second flow is cleansing. Cleansing is where you're releasing tension, toxicities, energetic blockages from your body. This is really important to do before later in the set when we start adding more energy. We want to make sure things are open first. So with the flow of cleansing, it's like the mountain lake now has melted in the first flow, and now it's releasing old dirt and old sluggish water and particles out. So more water is leaving than is coming in cleansing. The outer chi shower is a way where we kind of shake loose the dust, beat loose the dust from our body. And that is the main purpose of the exercise. The main principle, the Qigong principle for this, is we purge stagnations to improve our chi flow and to improve our health. Basically, if you don't remember the order, it's just tap lightly all over your body. It helps relax and release and feels very good. It's kind of like the old-time Tarzan, releasing using his very loud, fun, great apes yell. And it looks like this. Start with your stomach, belly, abdomen. And then you work your way up to your chest. Make sure you get your sides, get your armpits washed. Down the inside of the arm to the hand. Turn over. Up the hand and outside of the arm to the shoulder. Then you do other side. Down the inside of the arm, turn over, hand out the upside of the arm, up the outside of the arm. And then we do our little colorful, gentle taps to the face, to the gums, and to the brain, not too hard. Don't knock yourself silly. Down the back of the neck. Here we're getting the lower back and sacrum. And now the outside of the legs. And the back of the legs. Front of the legs.